From the Eyewitness News Weather Center, this is a CBS3 Storm Watch update.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm meteorologist Kate Bilo. I wanted to give you a heads up about storms that are headed our direction. They're not really in the area just yet, just starting to creep into our western suburbs. But I want you to notice this area of storms down near D.C. and Baltimore, which has spurred a number of severe thunderstorm warnings. And those storms are moving very quickly into our region. So you can see the first batch of thunderstorms just crawling through portions of Berks and Lancaster counties. Those are sub-severe, but the ones down here near Baltimore and D.C. are rolling to the north and east and will likely impact areas from the city on south within the next hour or two. The biggest threat with these storms, look at all that lightning, frequent lightning, intense downpours, and of course the threat for scattered wind damage. And this will continue right through the evening commute tonight, with the heaviest likely between about 4 and 5 o'clock. You can see heavy downpours. Look at that purple, an indication of very heavy rain over portions of South Jersey and through Delaware. This will likely clear the coast, or at least the severe threat will clear the coast by about 8 o'clock, but then scattered thunder showers will continue into the overnight. So we do have a severe thunderstorm watch until 8 p.m. for the majority of our region. It does not include the Poconos, the Lehigh Valley, Berks, or Lancaster counties. The rest of the region is included. And in addition to that, we have a flash flood watch for the Philadelphia metro area, surrounding counties. That goes until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Locally, up to 4 inches of rain could fall with these storms. So far, they have been moving at a pretty good clip, but they are expected to slow down a bit as they head into our area. As far as the main threat of severe weather, damaging wind gusts to 60 miles per hour. Flash flooding likely with these storms. Remember to always stay off flooded roads. The main threat ends by 8 p.m., but showers and perhaps a few rumbles continuing all night long. So play it safe if you have to be on the roads later on this evening. These storms coming through, and they're headed our way very quickly. We'll have complete details coming up on CBS3 Eyewitness News at 4. Now back to your regularly scheduled program.
This has been a CBS3 Storm Watch update.
The CBS3 Mobile Weather Watcher is checking conditions on Route 3 near Newtown Square. It's already damp and dreary in many locations, as some drivers may be hitting the road to get an early start on the holiday weekend. Kate's here tracking the rain and the wind. And Kate, just before we went on air, you saw something on your monitors, right?
That's right. We just had a tornado warning pop up, Yuki, for this cluster of storms. This is over parts of Kent County, Delaware, Kent and northern Sussex County, Delaware, until 5:30 this evening. So this is an area of storms that has severe thunderstorm warnings already with it. This area was already warned, and hopefully people were taking shelter. But now we have enough rotation that has been detected on our radar on Storm Scan 3 that it does look at least a radar detected tornado is likely in that area. So if you are in southern Kent County, this same cluster of storms that's been producing a lot of dangerous lightning in this area has now sparked a tornado warning. So let's take a look at some of the spots that are kind of encompassed within this tornado warning. You're looking at Milford, Delaware. You're looking at Slaughter Beach right along 113 there. Harrington, Delaware, I believe is also included. I'm quickly going to take off the radar just so we can see the spots that are included in this. So just east of Harrington, just east of Farmington, really just east of Route 13 there, right along the border of Kent and Sussex counties is where we have this tornado warning currently in effect. And this does include parts of the Delaware beaches as well, especially Slaughter Beach. So taking a look at the radar for you, you can see this line of storms. So sometimes what we have is a cluster of storms, almost a linear cluster of storms that does have some embedded rotation detected within it. And I'm going to try to pull up the velocity so we can see where we've got the threat for a tornado. Let me take off the lightning. This storm has a ton of lightning with it, and that is very, very dangerous as well. So hopefully everybody is already taking shelter from this system, because it has been a very, very active, very busy day across this area. But a tornado warning, again, has now been issued. It's the first one we have seen so far in our area, or really in any area. These storms turned severe over parts of D.C. and Baltimore, and now continue to move east across the region. So can't pull up the velocity for you right now, but let's go back to a broader look at what's happening outside as we look at this line of storms. So again, this is a quasi-linear line, quasi-linear segment of storms, really. You can see the line that's crossing Philadelphia right now is in really a line formation, a squall line. But down here, you can sort of see this little notch we're looking at. I'll try to point it out for you. This is what we're looking, when we see a notch like this, sometimes we call that an inflow notch. That's where you see these storms start to rotate, and you can see how it has this rotation shape around it. That's an indication that rotation is happening within a particular cell. When the radar detects that, that's when we see the threat for an embedded tornado. So there is the potential for this storm to have some rotation with it. Again, this is over parts of Delaware. In addition to this tornado warning, we also have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings for the same complex of storms moving across the region. Every single one of them has a warning right now extending from Burlington County, New Jersey, as you can see, through parts of Salem, Cumberland counties. We have a new warning that just popped up for Cumberland and Cape May counties, as this cell is forecast, the same cell that's producing a potential tornado here over parts of Delaware, is now going to move over the Delaware Bay and then head toward the shore points through the next hour or so. So a very dangerous situation. Again, if you're in these areas where I just showed you this tornado warning, please seek shelter immediately. That includes Milford, Delaware, Slaughter Beach. Yuki, you may be more familiar with this area than I am, being from Delaware. So is this these beach areas, is this a populated area where people would be outdoors?
Yeah, very much so, especially during the holiday weekend as it's about to hit. I know a lot of people are headed down that way. And my question is to you, we see the water right there before we get into New Jersey. As it moves east, does it break down at all? What are the chances of it breaking down over the water before it hits the Cape May area and those parts of New Jersey past the water? You know,
sometimes it will, although it's such a small little narrow inlet there between Delaware and South Jersey that oftentimes we don't really see the water have much of an appreciable impact on this system. You're not going to get enough cooling from the water that it's just going to fall apart. So I do think as we watch this cell continue to move east, we'll continue to have the possibility for this to continue to rotate as it moves toward Cape May County. So that's a really good point. If you know anyone that may be not watching the news right now, is headed down through parts of Cape May County, headed to Cape May, headed to the Wildwoods, headed to Avalon Stone Harbor, that's where this cell is headed next. So give them a call. Let them know that a tornado warning is in effect for parts of Delaware, and that has now been extended to include parts of the Delaware Bay. If anyone's out on a boat over the bay, this system is headed in very, very quickly. And like you said, a lot of people getting a jump on that holiday weekend may be impacted by the trajectory, at least, of this particular cell.
But you definitely see embedded rotation.
We see embedded rotation on the satellite imagery, on the radar imagery, I should say. Let me try to stop this, and we can take a closer look at what we're exactly looking at here. In fact, I want to take you to right now. Let's turn it on now. And here we have the tornado warning until 5:30 p.m. Again, this is for parts of Kent and Sussex counties, but we could see this storm continue to cross over the bay. And here's what we're looking at. You can see this kind of a, let me pull up the arrow tool here. You can see this little inflow notch. That's where you start to see the air, that the storm is kind of drawing in its own air, right? So it draws it in, draws in the wind, and that's where you start to see that rotation. You see that hook shape as it moves over Milford right now. So if you're in the Milford area right now, that's the area that is currently getting hit hardest by this potential tornado. And even if there is not a tornado touching down, this storm is very likely producing damaging, severe winds in excess of 60, maybe even 70 miles per hour. In addition, there is a ton of rain with this, very heavy downpours moving through. So any tornado that does form, it's not going to be like you see on TV out over the plains. You're not going to see it. It's going to be a rain-wrapped tornado kind of ensconced within all these heavy downpours. So basically, your best bet if you're in this area, seek shelter immediately. Get to a lower room, get to a basement. Those are the safest places to be if a tornado hits. And again, this one right now is for parts of Kent and Sussex counties. That is, of course, in the state of Delaware. So there's what we're looking at until 5:30 p.m. We've got a tornado warning as this cell exhibits some potential rotation right along the border of Kent and Sussex counties. It is moving east. I kind of track out this storm for you and see where it's headed next. Let's pull up the static radar here, and we can kind of time this out. So as we look at this warning, this will tell us exactly how quickly the cell is moving and which way it is headed. We're looking at this storm is moving about 30 miles an hour to the east. It's actually moving east at 50 miles an hour. The line over Philadelphia is moving at about 30. This particular cell is moving a little bit faster. So moving east at about 50 miles per hour, flying debris is likely to those caught without shelter. So please seek shelter immediately if you're in this area. It is very, very dangerous. Not only a potential tornado, but potentially damaging straight line winds in excess of 60, even 70 miles per hour. Let's kind of draw out this cell here and see where it's headed next. As it moves east, let me take that off of there. As it moves east at about 50 miles per hour, I'm going to pull up our 50 miles per hour and see where the areas that will be impacted. frequently or upcoming from this particular cell, because it is headed quickly toward parts of Cape May County. And you can see there, I don't know if you can see that little strike of lightning. There was just a lightning strike reported in Cape May County over southern Cape May County. There are no thunderstorms really currently there, and that just kind of shows you how dangerous these storms are, because lightning can strike up to 10 miles away from the center of a storm. So Cape May, this will likely be in your area before the 6 o'clock hour. And you can see right there we have in our box there our Cape May camera. This is live look at the beach in Cape May, and you can see those dark clouds as you look down toward the Delaware Bay. That's where this storm is coming from. It's moving east at about 50 miles per hour, so it's moving very quickly. It has heavy downpours as well as a potential tornado within it, and moving east at 50 miles per hour. So it's Kent and Sussex counties in Delaware right now that are in that tornado warning, but I am very concerned if that cell moves out over the bay. It doesn't have very far to go. It's a very short trip from the coast of Delaware, that Slaughter Beach area, right over toward Cape May County. Cape May Point, the city of Cape May, of course, Wildwood, Stone Harbor, Avalon, areas that are packed with people this time of year, getting a jump perhaps on that holiday. And it has been a hot, sunny day down the shore up to this point. So people may be out on the beach and not even know that this is coming. If you know anyone, if you have family, if you have friends that are in Cape May County that have been on the beach all day, that may not see the dark clouds building off to the west, hit them up, send them a text, call them, let them know this is a dangerous situation. You need to be inside as the storm heads east.
Same thing for folks in the car on Route 1,
Totally.
on 13 and 113 that might be heading south down to the Delaware beaches. They probably have no idea. Just get them on the speakerphone on the cell and just tell them to pull over, because that looks rough.
Right. If you're coming from Wilmington, the storms have already gone through. You might think, all right, now's a good time to leave. Nothing all that bad further to the south, but it is very, very nasty the farther south you go. And we've been mentioning, of course, the lightning with this storm as well. This particular cell, as it moved over the Chesapeake Bay, just was completely shrouded in lightning. So much electrification with this. So not only is it dangerous in the form of a potential tornado, which of course is the most dangerous aspect of any severe thunderstorm, but also the aspect of damaging straight line winds, frequent lightning, and these heavy, heavy, intense downpours. So once again, our tornado warning goes until 5:30 p.m. That is for parts of Kent and Sussex counties. And this is going to move over the Delaware Bay, so parts of the bay also included within this warning. I also want to run through just a few more of our severe thunderstorm warnings, because almost the entire area right now, actually we just got a new tornado warning that has popped up. Let's move up to the north and we'll pull that up for you. A new tornado warning for Mercer County and northern Burlington County, as well as lower Bucks County. I want to slow this down, and you can see as we move on through, a tornado warning again for Mercer County, Burlington County, and southeastern Bucks County. This also goes until 5:30. I'm going to take the satellite off here and we'll pull up the stats on this particular tornado warning. So as of 5:07, which is a couple of minutes ago, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was over Tullytown near Trenton, moving east at 25 miles an hour. So this is a slow moving cell. Flying debris once again could be dangerous to any of those caught without shelter in this storm. Let's take a closer look at where this exactly is, because this is, again, a very populated area near the city of Trenton, New Jersey. As we zoom in, we'll take a look at some of the spots encompassed within this, but this does include the New Jersey Turnpike, I-95, Route 130 there. It includes Bordentown, the Bordentown-Bristol Bridge area, which is a very highly traveled area.
And that's Bristol right there that we're looking at there in the, what we call the lower box there on the left. That's the Bristol area, and you can see the activity right now.
It looks like nighttime out there right now. That is a very dangerous storm. There are people out on the roads in an active tornado warning that may not know that a tornado warning has been issued for this region. So once again, 2 tornado warnings to tell you about. Here's the first one. This is, again, for spots like Bordentown, just south of Trenton into northern Burlington County, lower Bucks included in this as well. Areas like Levittown, also just on the western edge of this, but this cell moving east at 25 miles per hour. If you are in this area, seek shelter immediately. A very dangerous ongoing situation. The other tornado warning, if you're just joining us, is for parts of Kent and Sussex counties in Delaware. You can't even see it because it is so obscured by rain. But let's move a little further south and you can see where that particular warning is. It's been It's been moving east at about 50 miles an hour. So just east of Milford now, we still have this tornado warning in effect until 5:30 p.m. They are both in effect until 5:30 p.m. So a dangerous situation, especially with the holiday weekend, people taking tomorrow off, trying to get a jump on their travel down the shore. And we have 2 active tornado warnings, as well as a number of severe thunderstorm warnings. Don't forget about those. This line of severe storms is moving through the city of Philadelphia right now, just about to cross the river into New Jersey. The line has wind gusts upwards of 60 miles an hour, capable of causing tree damage. So branches could be down, roads may be closed. In addition, blinding downpours leading to very dangerous travel conditions up and down I-95. Here's a live look at our spring garden camera just outside our studios. You can see how dark it is as these dark clouds roll on through, and very heavy rainfall has just passed through the city of Philadelphia, leaving puddles in its wake. There's a look at our roof camera. And again, just seeing the aftermath of this line of storms moving through. I'm looking behind me at some of our shore cameras, and they all look incredibly ominous. These storms are moving very quickly toward the shore points. There's one look at Cape May. You can see still some blue sky on the horizon because we're looking out over the ocean. But look at that flag at the Montreal Beach Resort flapping in the breeze. The wind is picking up as these storms continue to push rapidly toward the area. And once again, 2 active tornado warnings to tell you about. One over parts of Delaware. There it is right there. It's a small area encompassed in this, but it is a coastal area. Look at those dark clouds. I'm not sure if you guys can tell me which actual beach that is. Is that Cape May? That is also Cape May. And again, that is looking to the south, I believe, over the bay, or where the ocean meets the bay. And that's where this particular cell is headed next. Very scary situation for people that may be down the shore right now in Cape May County, because this storm, even if it does not have a tornado on the ground, it is a very dangerous cell. It's just starting to push over the bay. So we'll see what happens to it as it moves over the water. Hopefully it will weaken slightly.
Cape Milford's about 30 minutes or so south of Dover. Is there like a divide? I guess we can almost see a dividing line, can we, between, say, Milford and Dover, where this activity is?
Yeah,
almost?
there are almost 2 separate segments. So there's the squall line that's moving through the city. Let me stop this so we can take a closer look at it. There are almost two distinct segments of storms. You have the squall line, which has stayed in a squall line formation, but does have a tornado warning right here with this cell over parts of Burlington County, parts of Bucks and Mercer County. But then you can see it's more of a linear segment of storms moving through South Jersey with damaging winds. There is a bit of a disconnect between that, which formed to the north, and this cluster of storms which formed further south. This was the same one that moved over D.C., moved over Maryland, produced a flash flood warning in the city of D.C., and now has moved east, and that has exhibited some of that rotation. So that's what we saw yesterday, that it looked like areas to the south were going to have the greatest risk of severe weather and possibly some rotation embedded. We are seeing that right now, but we're also seeing on the northern edge of this squall line a second tornado warning right now, and that is for parts of, again, southern Mercer County, northern Burlington County, and parts of eastern Bucks County or lower Bucks County. So right along I-95. Can you imagine people traveling for the holiday weekend? I-95 so busy this time of the year. There's a live look from Bristol. This is just south, Bristol just out of it. You can see there's Bristol. This is just north and east of the Bristol area, so the worst has already moved through there. This is starting to push through Bordentown, through Chesterfield. Let me pull up our sweeping radar and we can take a closer look at what this cell is actually doing. You can see the darker colors there. Look at that purple around Trenton, an indication of incredibly heavy rainfall. So once again, this is going to be the kind of, if there is a tornado, you likely aren't going to see much of it because of the intense downpours that are going along with it. Further to the south, we take a look at that second cell, this cell over Delaware, that has produced a tornado warning. It has now ejected out over the Delaware Bay. So what we'll have to see is whether that cell continues to maintain its strength and its possible rotation as it moves toward Cape May County. You can see it's almost on a direct line for southern Cape May County, which is a very busy spot as we head toward the holiday weekend. So 2 active tornado warnings. If you're in these areas, if you're in extreme southeastern Bucks County, extreme northern Burlington County, or southern Mercer County, seek shelter immediately. Again, an interior room or basement is best. If you're in parts of southern Delaware, if you're in Kent or Sussex counties, it does look like that cell has started to push out to sea. So I do expect we'll see that tornado warning likely falling off pretty quickly here.
Speaking of which, I just got a Facebook message from Jerome, and he's in Sussex County, Delaware, and he says right now it's very windy and raining buckets at that time, which your radar is showing us.
Yeah.
But it is moving.
Raining buckets indeed. And, you know, it is moving. It is moving pretty quickly to the east, which is good news. We're not seeing these storms just sit and spin over any kind of area for an extended period of time. That cell over Milford was moving at 50 miles an hour. So these storms are moving, which means we have not seen any flash flood warnings in our area, which was something we had been concerned about earlier today. But with the rapid movement of these storms, the bigger threat now, wind damage, and of course, these isolated tornado threats that we have, 2 active tornado warnings. The line has moved through Philadelphia. So in the city of Philadelphia, it looks to me like our severe risk has ended. This is mainly off to the north and to the south. We've got that 1 tornado warning further north over parts of Burlington and Bucks County. It's now been scaled back, so it no longer includes Bucks County, just a small area here right along the New Jersey Turnpike, right along I-95, around the Bordentown area, Chesterfield, Yardville. This is moving slowly, a little more slowly to the east at about 25 miles per hour. And we'll take a look further south, and we still have this active tornado warning for parts of right along Kent and Sussex County, the border there, Milford towards Slaughter Beach. I do want to pull up the radar once again so we can see where that is. And you can see that the brightest red shading has started to move offshore. So what we're watching for now is the threat for this cell to move over Cape May County. There is already a severe thunderstorm warning for that area in Cape May County as this storm approaches. The question being, will this storm continue exhibiting rotation? And look at that sky as we look live at Cape May. It looks incredibly ominous. So luckily, if we look closer, I don't see many people on the beach, maybe 1 person there on the beach. So hopefully looking back behind people has spurred them to get off the beach.
And that's not where you want to be when lightning and thunder is in the area.
No.
In that wide open spot like that.
A wide open spot. You're the tallest thing on that beach at that point, and that is incredibly dangerous. We do have a lightning strike that was actually reported. Look at this lightning strike out ahead of the main cell over parts of Cape May County, well out ahead of the storm moving through. So if you're on the beach in Cape May right now, you can be struck by lightning. Get off the beach. If you know anyone that may be down there watching the dark clouds roll in, don't do it. Do it from the window if you have to, but you should be as far indoors away from windows as you can. Even though we don't currently have a tornado warning for Cape May County, there is the potential that this storm could still exhibit some rotation as it moves in there.
We're talking about seeking shelter. I got a message here from John. He says he's in the basement. It's cold, but he feels safe.
Well, that's
it. You got to get there.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a nice relief from the heat we've been having. A nice cold basement, and it will keep you safe. And again, I don't want to be remiss in mentioning our other tornado warning, which is still active until 5:30. This includes parts of I-95, 295. It has been canceled for Bucks County, but still in effect for northern Burlington, parts of Mercer County as well, as this kind of broken line of thunderstorms continues to move eastward. And it's got severe thunderstorm warnings all along with it as well. You can see if we widen out the broader scope of this line of storms.
Very quickly, Kate, I'm sure Don will get into it a little bit later. I've just been handed a note that tonight's game between the Phillies and the Marlins has been postponed due to the weather, due to the rain. It'll be made up on Friday, July 16th as a single admission doubleheader. I'm sure Don will have more on that. But you can see how the weather is affecting so many things at this very moment.
That's right. And even though it appears that the severe threat for the city has ended, and now I do have word that our tornado warning for Delaware has been allowed to expire, so no longer a tornado warning. But once again, as that cell moves over the Delaware Bay, this is a very dangerous storm. So don't ever say, oh, it's just a severe thunderstorm warning, because that can be just as dangerous. Straight line winds can be just as deadly and just as damaging as tornado winds. So if you are in Cape May County, we do not have an active tornado warning there for you. The tornado warning in Delaware has been allowed to expire, but there is still a severe thunderstorm warning and a very dangerous situation setting up over the beaches of Cape May County. I want to see if we have still our tornado warning. This one is still in effect. This one does include parts of northern Burlington County, parts of Mercer County, and it has just moved east of Bucks County. I want to see if I can pull up our velocity radar here to see if we can see that velocity signature that we often look for when we see a storm rotate like this. Let's see if we can pull this up here. was not working for me earlier, still does not appear to be working for me now. We'll have to figure out what's going on with that. But basically, what they're seeing when the National Weather Service issues a tornado warning like this is, generally speaking, you can either have eyes on a tornado on the ground, someone can report it, or you're seeing radar indicated rotation. And that's what we're seeing with this cell. Radar is indicating that there is enough rotation within that cell to possibly cause a tornado to form and touch down. So here's the bigger picture. We've got this long, broken line of storms, and we've had some embedded rotation within the line. These are usually relatively brief tornadoes. If we do get embedded tornadoes within a squall line like this, they tend to spin up, they tend to die out pretty quickly. But what I want to point your attention to right now is this line of storms moving over the Delaware Bay. And once again, take a look at the sky there over Cape May. That almost looks like a roll cloud, a very dangerous situation as that storm moves east. It has gone from sunny and hot most of the day down the shore to looking like that. It looks like nighttime outside right now. I'm hoping I think I see a person on the beach. I wish I could broadcast to them, get off the beach. If you see that coming, you have to get off the beach because, again, lightning strikes, incredibly dangerous with this particular cluster of storms. If we go back to our radar and look over the Delaware Bay, look from Morris River right on down into parts of Sussex County, Delaware, there are hundreds of lightning strikes, and that's just in the past couple of minutes. And as this cluster moves over Cape May County, if you're out on a beach, if you're in an unprotected area, you are a target for lightning. We've had a lightning fatality just a few weeks ago in our area on a golf course. We've had lightning-related fires and injuries. You don't want to mess around with this, even if it's not a tornado warning. I know it can be exciting to see storms roll in, but you need to be in a safe place to do so. So please seek shelter. If you're in Cape May County, it's a severe thunderstorm warning. But again, this cell has exhibited rotation over Delaware. There is still the possibility of an isolated tornado as that rolls through. And there's another live look over the shore points right now, looking south over Cape May. You can see the promenade there.
Do you expect it to keep, look at that flag, the flag is almost starts. Can you see the flag there?
Yeah,
yes, indeed, because of the winds. But do you expect it to keep the same speed once it gets over the Garden State?
It looks like it's slowing down a little bit to me. I think it's going to slow down, and I am concerned about the rain and the threat for flooding, especially because look at that sky. That is just incredible, incredibly dangerous and scary. And you can see people are down there watching it. You got to get off the beach. Somebody text her and let her know to get off the beach.
Please
when you see a sky like that, you can get struck by lightning so easily. It is such a dangerous situation out there. But look, it's almost like we've almost never seen something like that. If you're down there, you want to take a look at how dark that sky is. And that's because we've got this cell moving eastward very quickly. This is going to crash into Cape May County. So I'll pull up some stats on the warning right now. It's a severe thunderstorm warning right now until 6:15. And this cell is now moving at 25 miles an hour to the east. So it has slowed down. We were looking at that one tiny tornado, potential tornadic cell, that has slowed down. And now 25 miles an hour. So with the slowdown, I am concerned now about the threat for flash flooding in this area because you can see how much rain there is with it, and it's not moving very quickly. So as we take a look, this will likely be over Cape May by about 5:43 this evening. And that's the area that I'm most concerned about with folks out on the beach, 6:08 p.m. into Ocean City. We still have our tornado warning. Don't forget, further to the north, a very small area. There it is right there. That is for parts of, once again, central Mercer, south central Mercer County, and central Burlington County. This is still an active tornado warning, and I'll pull up our sweeping radar here so you can see where this storm is and what it looks like right now. Let's set it into our current time frame, and this is the actual cell we're looking at here. So you can kind of see, once again, we're looking for those inflow notches. We're looking for that bow echo shape, and you can sort of see where that cell is right now. That little hook shape you see there, just crossing I-95, and once again, that is an active tornado warning. So if you're in this area, that is currently our only active tornado warning over parts of Burlington County and parts of Mercer County. If you're in this area, seek shelter immediately. Once again, an interior room or basement is the best place to be, away from windows, as the storm continues to move east at about 25 miles per hour.
Kate, one of your colleagues just checked in. Matt Peterson says, and he found out that the New Jersey warning looks like it will be allowed to expire, according to my clock here, in about 4 minutes at 5:30. So just a heads up. I don't know if you got that information or not?
I just was handed that, and yes, that is great information. Thank you, Matt, for backing us up always. Our meteorologists are always on top of this weather, and that's a good sign. That means they've started to see the rotation signature weaken enough that they're not going to continue push that tornado warning further east. But once again, we've got this cell moving over the Delaware Bay, and this is a very scary situation for folks down the shore. You can see the edge of that just starting to come on shore over western Cape May County. It has incredibly heavy rain, as well as very strong wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour and tons of lightning. So right now, the most dangerous spot is likely southern Cape May County and the Delaware beaches, by the way. You can see this extends right on down through Sussex County. So if you're in Rehoboth Beach, if you're in Bethany Beach, this is just about to move through those areas as well. Once again, no longer a tornado warning, but it does have embedded very strong straight line winds, as well as the risk for flash flooding. So these storms have slowed down a bit. The lightning is possibly the most dangerous attribute right now, in addition to the threat for isolated wind damage. Of course, down the shore, we're looking more at the threat for lightning because you don't have as many giant trees that could fall and hurt people. But, you know, Cape May, the city of Cape May at least, has some big old trees there that we have to worry about. So certainly something we've got to look out for. But lightning, for people out there watching these storms roll in, you can see them moving in as we speak. You have to be inside. If you want to watch them come in, stand back from a window and watch, but you don't want to be out on the beach. It looks like the beach in Cape May, from our vantage point, has cleared out now, which of course is good news. You see a sky like that, you don't want to be anywhere near.
This reminds me of a tragic story when I was in Florida. A situation very similar to this rolled up on a football team. They were practicing. Everybody got off the field, but there was one football player who just wanted to get one more hit, one more drill in while everybody else was off. He stayed out, and you know where this is going. Struck by lightning, killed. In that open field. It devastates. It's unbelievable. You have to get off. When you hear thunder, when you see skies like that, get off the beach, get off the field, get to shelter.
Absolutely. Even if the sun is still shining and the storm's behind you, if you hear that low growl of thunder, you got to get inside. I know it can be inconvenient. I know there are places where if you're in a swimming pool, you hear thunder, they make everyone get out and wait 30 minutes and everyone grumbles about it. It's for your own safety because lightning can strike way out ahead of a cell, and it just takes 1 second for it to happen. It's just not worth risking anything to get out and take a look at the storm rolling in. So again, right now, we still have an active tornado warning over parts of Burlington and Mercer County. That will expire in 1 minute, and we do not have any more active tornado warnings in effect. So once this expires, we will continue to monitor this situation as these storms continue to roll eastward, but we still have a dangerous severe thunderstorm situation underway. A flash flood watch that goes until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. We have a severe thunderstorm watch, which goes right through tonight at 8 o'clock. I do think once this batch moves offshore, and it's taken its time, it has slowed down to about 25 miles an hour, but once these storms we're looking at here move offshore, the severe threat will likely end, even though we do, as you look to the west there, still have a few showers and storms that may come through before the night is out. But once again, a live look down the shore where, again, if you know anybody that may not know this is coming, Atlantic County beaches as well, all of the shore points are in a severe thunderstorm warning right now. And, you know, in Atlantic City, even just in the past half hour, we were reporting sunshine at the airport. So it has not quite gotten there yet, but it is coming. So you want to get off the beaches. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect for that area. And this severe thunderstorm warning for Atlantic County, for Ocean County, goes until 7 o'clock tonight. Let me take a quick look at our tornado warning. Yes, it has been allowed to expire. So good news. No active tornado warnings, but still a very active severe weather situation underway across much of South Jersey, the shore points, and the Delaware beaches right now.
It's 5:30, and you are watching special coverage of the weather conditions in our area. I'm Yuki Washington, along with Kate Bilo. Some intense pictures we have been showing you since just after, 5 o'clock this afternoon. And it looks like it's starting to move off, but it's still very dangerous out there.
That's right. It was almost right at 5 o'clock that tornado warning popped up over Delaware. It was over parts of, again, lower Kent and northern Sussex counties near Milford, Delaware. We then had a second tornado warning for parts of Mercer County, Burlington County, and Bucks County. The good news is all active tornado warnings have been allowed to expire. We do not have any tornado warnings right now for our area. We do, however, have a number of severe thunderstorm warnings, and they include some spots that are generally pretty popular as we head into the holiday weekend. That includes the shore points. This goes until 7 o'clock. A severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Atlantic County, Burlington, Cape May, and Ocean counties. Further to the south over Delaware, we have another severe thunderstorm warning. That goes until 6 o'clock for parts of Kent and Sussex counties. There is a lot of lightning with these storms. There is also very heavy rainfall. If you're in the city of Philadelphia or the western suburbs, the severe threat, at least for now, has ended. There will likely be a few more chances, at least, for thunderstorms tonight, but they do not look to be severe at this point. You can see the storms will continue to roll eastward as we go through the next couple of hours. So by the time we get to 6:30 or 7 o'clock, most of those storms are offshore. There will be a few scattered thunder showers that roll through the city later on this evening and even overnight tonight. But the worst of the severe threat will end, especially once that sun goes down. So through the remainder of this evening, our biggest threat is heavy rain, frequent lightning, as well as strong straight line winds. And it's not out of the question that we see another spin up tornado within that embedded segment.
Okay, this might be a good time to remind our viewers once again, because we do it a lot, once again, the difference between watches and warnings.
Indeed, and it's a good thing to remember. If you hear a watch, basically that means, we always talk about it like if you're making pancakes. There's a pancake watch when you get all the ingredients out. The bowl's there, the whisk is there, the ingredients are out, but you haven't made them yet. When you put them on the skillet, that's a pancake warning, right? So that's actually happening. The pancake is happening. So it's kind of an easy way to remember it. A watch means the ingredients are there. The atmosphere is ripe for XYZ to happen. It's not happening yet, although it's still in effect when the warnings happen, but warnings are more immediate. Warnings are more emergent. That means it is happening. When you have a tornado warning, that means there is the possibility that a tornado is on the ground at that very moment. That's why when we hear a warning pop up, you have to seek shelter immediately. That's why we had a severe thunderstorm watch issued earlier this afternoon before any storms even got in, just to let people know, hey, conditions are ripe, this is going to happen. Why we came to you at 3 o'clock before the storms even moved in the region and said, hey, just a heads up, these are coming, and the worst time is going to be likely between about 4 and 6 p.m., and that's exactly what we've seen right around 5 o'clock. Those tornado warnings both cropped up in parts of our area.
Just got a message from Kathy. She says she's around the corner from the National Weather Service at Mount Holly, and she says it's dark and ominous. Trees are really blowing lots of rain. We'll be happy when the tornado warnings pass without incident. Now, once again, how many have passed?
We have 2 tornado warnings that have been allowed to expire, and we do not currently have any active tornado warnings in the area. We do, you can see the lightning layer still turn on there. We do have, where you see these orange boxes, those are severe thunderstorm warnings, which are in effect. And again, severe thunderstorm warning can be just as dangerous. A severe thunderstorm can be just as dangerous as a tornado warning. You can have very strong straight line winds in excess of 60 miles an hour. There's one for 7 o'clock for parts of Mercer, Middlesex, Monmouth, and Ocean counties. Another one until 7 o'clock for Atlantic County, Cape May, Cumberland, and parts of Gloucester County. And a third one that goes until 6 o'clock for Kent and Sussex counties. That's where the worst of the weather is right now as it pushes east toward the shore point. So it's this one cluster of storms here from really Morris River right on down to coastal Delaware that's just starting to push into Cape May County. This is going to impact the shore points really probably within the next 30 minutes with incredibly heavy rain, frequent lightning, and the threat for damaging wind gusts. So from Atlantic City to Cape May, you want to be inside. Delaware beaches, move inside. Get off the beach until these storms pass by.
I know we're looking at the beach and shore area here, but when it comes to those damaging winds, there are many older trees in this area that will come down like that.
Very easily.
Very easily.
Especially
with the strong
when you
winds
get heavy
out there.
rain with it too, because you get the soil that gets saturated, the trees come down, and we had that line of storms move through the Philadelphia area. Let's pull up, I don't know if we have any storm reports. We actually don't have very many in our area today. These are all the reports that these storms, so anytime you have wind damage, flooding, a strong wind gust, any kind of storm report, a tornado, you get one of these reports. We haven't had any really pop up just yet. I want to pull up this one over Delaware. This is a report from Farmington, a city in Kent County, Delaware, report of trees down and vehicles, listen to this, vehicles blown off the road along Route 13. So that was the cell that produced the potential tornado. If you have winds that are strong enough to blow a vehicle off the road, we'll have to go back and see. So the National Weather Service will send out a damage survey and see, did a tornado touch down in this area? And they'll tell us their findings. It sounds to me like it's either very strong straight line winds or a potential tornado there.
It's interesting that you said that, because I'm just reading a note here from Cindy. She said she just found out that Harrington, Delaware Fire Department is responding to a possible tornado touchdown, but we still have to wait for officials to confirm that one way or another. But
we do.
But the officials there, the fire department, is responding to a possible touchdown and the damage that it may have caused.
And if you look at Cape May right now, look at the heavy rain there. In fact, we have reports, this is in Terre Hill, Lancaster County, as the storms just formed, they got almost 2 inches in 45 minutes. That's a rainfall report. So you can see how heavy the rain is now moving in to Cape May, and the heaviest rain is still back to the west right now. Here's a look at the storm. It is moving pretty quickly, but again, you can see the heaviest of the rainfall is moving through Cape May County right now. Lots of rain and frequent lightning as well. We just got a new tornado warning. Thanks, Julie, for that. A new tornado warning has just been issued. This is for parts of north central Ocean County, parts of southeastern Mercer County, and southwestern Monmouth County. So this is further north. If you're headed to the northern New Jersey beaches, let's pull that up and see which areas. So this is the same cell that we were looking at with the tornado warning about 30 minutes ago. I think it was 5:07 that one was issued for parts of Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. We now have this tornado warning, which includes part of northern Ocean County, just a tiny bit of Mercer County there, and parts of Monmouth County. This is right along 195. So if you are headed toward the northern Delaware beaches, if you're headed toward Manasquan or Long Branch, Brick Township, Seaside Heights even, if people headed that way towards Toms River, may be traveling along 195 and could be in this area of a tornado warning right now. So a new tornado warning. Let's pull it up, our sweeping radar, and we can look at the cell that's actually producing this potential tornado. And again, this is right along 195 here. It's the same cell, the same storm that actually rolled over right over I-95. I'll circle it for you. That area right there where you're seeing those bright colors, that's an indication of incredibly heavy rain is what we're looking at right there. Very heavy rainfall and the potential, once again, for a tornado with this particular cell.
The purple being the more intense? Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah, the purple is the most intense. Let me see if I can pull up the velocity this way. I've been having problems with my velocity, but let's see if we can pull it up. There we go. So what you're looking at here is you see all the green, and then what we're looking for is red embedded within green or vice versa. So one color shows the winds that are blowing toward the radar site, and another color shows winds that are blowing away from the radar site. When that happens, when you have winds going in two separate directions in a small area like that, that is an indication of rotation. And that's what we look for when we're looking for a potential cell that is creating some rotation. So when you see a little blob of green like that surrounded by red, that's where we're seeing the potential for that rotation, for that potential tornado. So again, you can kind of see where the radar site is. It's in Mount Holly. So where you have areas to the east, green, areas to the west, red. If you see a little bit of green embedded within the red, you will see the potential for some rotation. So once again, what we're looking at is this little blob of green here right along 195 that has a potential rotation signature over Millstone, New Jersey, Upper Freehold. This is mainly Monmouth County, but may impact parts of extreme northern Ocean County as well. That's where the tornado warning is currently, right there. It includes, again, right along 195, Millstone, Upper Freehold, Vista Center, Jackson, and this is moving toward Route 9 as well, and may continue to exhibit some rotation as it does so. And our live camera is in Cape May.
That's Cape May, yeah, look at Cape May.
It's of rain moving through Cape May County right now.
At one point we could see the flag was start, but we could see everything, but now, look at the visibility, almost next to zero, almost.
Right, you can't see anything in front of you, and that's why we say get off the roads, get off the beach when this is happening. This is happening because it's a very dangerous situation. But once again, the most dangerous we have right here is with this rotation signature up in parts of Monmouth County, which is slightly out of our viewing area, but want to mention it because a lot of people are traveling. A lot of people may be on the road, headed maybe to New York City for the weekend, headed to the Hamptons, headed to Ocean County beaches, and may be traveling in that area. But again, there's Cape May, and you can see the heaviest of the rain with that earlier tornado warned cell no longer has a tornado warning, but it does have a severe thunderstorm warning and very, very heavy downpours moving through the shore points.
You've used the word potential quite a bit over the last 20, 30 minutes, but when we hear that word, that is serious. We still have to take potential situations seriously, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, a tornado warning, when you get a tornado warning, it's indicated by the radar. It doesn't always mean a tornado is on the ground. It means there may be some rotation aloft that could produce a tornado on the ground. Then what we look for is either the damage survey that the National Weather Service does, where they go back after the storms are over and look to see if you have a path that indicates a tornado, or if someone happens to see it or videotape it or take a photo of a tornado on the ground, that's enough also to confirm a tornado. So that's what we'll have to listen for. We had that report of vehicles blown off the road in Kent County, Delaware. If we have any video, if we have any photographs of a tornado on the ground, that would be a confirmed tornado, or else we'll have a damage survey done by the National Weather Service, and they'll tell us whether or not an actual tornado touchdown happened today in Kent County, Delaware. But you can see Kent County has started to dry out. The back edge of these storms already moving through. So they are moving quickly enough that we have not had any flash flooding, which was another big concern with today, mainly because of how much humidity is in the atmosphere, how much moisture with the heat wave we've been dealing with. These storms are producing incredibly heavy rain, but they are moving, which is good news. I am concerned about the shore points, though, because you can see Cape May, how heavily it's raining. And again, this is below sea level, flooding easily occurring down the shore. So with rain like that over a prolonged period of time, I am concerned we may see some flash flood warnings pop up for the shore points.
Kate, the definition of a train spotter is?
A train spotter?
Train spotter, yeah.
Yes. So the National Weather Service hosts events where they can actually train potential weather spotters to be able to assess damage or assess a certain situation. And generally they value those reports and take those reports as confirmation of something happening.
One of those talented people have reportedly spotted a tornado 3 miles east-northeast of Milford, and that happened about maybe 40 minutes ago.
Okay.
So ago, and there has been some damaged trees flying and so forth.
So yeah, if you have a train spotter, so basically the National Weather Service isn't going to generally take the word of someone that just says, I saw a tornado without any evidence.
Right.
But if a trained spotter has eyes on the ground, then that would be confirmation enough of a tornado. And then they'd go back and do a damage survey to tell us, was it EF 0, 1, 2, 3. Usually these embedded tornadoes within a squall line tend to be EF 0 or 1, but you never know. We have to go back and see what kind of damage it caused. And the aftermath of these storms, they'll wait until the damage and the threat, of course, is over.
This train spotter is reporting tree damage and some trees into houses as well. So it could be a little rough down there in the Milford area. Please, everyone, stay safe.
That was the worst of it today. And, not only, we can have that kind of damage without any sort of tornado touchdown, even just with straight line winds. But there is some indication. When I see vehicles blown off the road in that area, that's an indication to me that there may very likely be a tornado that did touch down. And now if we have a train spotter citing a tornado, that is even more confirmation that there very likely was a tornado on the ground in Delaware today. We also still have this rotation signature right along 195. You can see the red embedded within the green there, which has a tornado warning for parts of Monmouth and extreme northern Ocean County. I'll show you that one more time where exactly that is. And this warning, I believe, goes until 6 o'clock. Let's pull it up. And yes, until 6 o'clock for parts of Monmouth and Ocean County. This is moving east at 25 miles per hour. It will impact locations including Roosevelt, Imleystown, Clarksburg. The Six Flags theme park, by the way, is embedded within this tornado warning. So if people were out at Six Flags today, they have to seek shelter immediately. And that's a scary situation when you were talking about a theme park and people have to get out of there, get in their cars, or find someplace safe to go. Once again, if you know anyone that may be at Six Flags in this area, send them a message. They probably know it's happening already because it's probably pretty nasty out there. But once again, that's an area that, you never think about when you're out there with the family and you're like, oh, it'll probably blow through quickly. And now there's a tornado warning. So a very dangerous situation right now in parts of north central New Jersey.
Let's go a little bit further southwest. How far is it stretching southwest? Because I just got a note from, here we go, from a friend, Michael, in Nashville, Tennessee. He says he's getting some activity down there. I don't know if it's all part of the same system or not. Oh, there you go.
It's all the same front. And, this has some, if you remember, we had Tropical Storm Danny earlier in the week that made landfall in South Carolina. So Danny's moisture moved inland and has been now absorbed into this front, which is why we were so concerned about flash flooding, because you've got some tropical moisture with this. Very heavy rain along this boundary, and this is a cold front that's slicing from really southern New England all the way down into parts of the deep south. But the best dynamics for severe weather today were right over our region. The Delmarva Chesapeake Bay area, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York City, all of these areas were in a slight risk for severe weather just because that's where the daytime heating was best. That's where there was a little bit of rotation in the wind field, and that's where the the Storm Prediction Center issued a slight risk of severe weather, and that certainly is where we have seen the severe weather today. Mostly over our area. You can see down over portions of eastern Maryland. Now we have a severe thunderstorm warning there as well. So people that travel down to, the Eastern Shore, St. Michael's area, you're dealing with that. Chincoteague, Virginia dealing with that as well. And up through the Delaware beaches, we still have some strong to severe storms moving through, although they are now moving off the coast. So right now, the most dangerous spot is over south and central New Jersey, really. Ocean County and Monmouth County. It looks like Monmouth County really is where that particular cell that is creating the tornado warning right here. It's over extreme southwestern Monmouth County, right near Millstone. Further south, you can see this broken line segment extends right down through parts of Burlington County, right around Chemung and Tabernacle. This is just starting to push into Atlantic County. Very heavy downpours and lightning right now, just crossing from Camden into Atlantic County. And then this cell over parts of Cape May County, which it's kind of a cluster of storms. There's actually two cells embedded within that. You can see where the red is the heaviest rainfall moving through. So here's a live picture from the Wildwood Boardwalk, which is getting slammed by heavy rain right now. There are still people out there on the boardwalk, hopefully getting into the shops and the restaurants and seeking shelter because there is a lot of lightning moving through Cape May County. It is pouring, and it's not going to let up really anytime soon because you can see the rain is kind of back building behind these storms. So even once the severe threat moves offshore, we will still have the risk for some heavy rain for at least the next hour or so. So you're probably not going to be able to really wait this out under an awning unless you stand there for quite some time. And it's still dangerous to be out there.
Speaking of time, we've been talking about this and showing this for just over 45 minutes now, and we can see it moving on your radar. Is everything you think on schedule for it to be over the Atlantic fairly soon?
I do think so. I think as we get toward about 6:30 or so, most of this will start to move offshore. It has slowed down a little bit, and you can see that first line is still kind of hanging out over Gloucester County. But I think once we get toward about 7 o'clock, most of the storms will already be off the coast, and most of the severe threat will be over. So again, the severe threat lasting through about 8 p.m., strong winds, flooding rain. There's Ocean City for you, and we'll pull up Ocean City here, which you can see lots of people still out. Looks like they're hustling, maybe not out for a run, maybe trying to get home before these storms hit, because Ocean City, just starting to see the leading edge of it. There's Ocean City right there. And within the next 5 minutes, it is going to be pouring. So everyone's trying to run to get off the boardwalk. Look at those skies. Very, very ominous skies there. The flags are flying. Hopefully everybody that's out walking on the boardwalk is hearing those rumbles and getting out. Now,
from this picture, is that moving, do you think, left to right or right to left? Because we see a little bit of clearing in the upper left-hand corner. I guess it's hard to tell from this picture.
I think we're looking north, kind of northwest in this picture, so you can kind of see to the north, like where Summers Point is and Margate. It's still not raining there. It's going to be a little brighter to the north. This is kind of coming in from the south and west, so really kind of rolling through Cape May County and about to slam into parts of Atlantic County. So next up would be Sea Isle, Ocean City, Brigantine, Margate, Ventnor, right up toward Atlantic City. These are the areas next in line to get hit by this heavy rain, and lots of lightning as well. So you can see Wildwood, you can see the contrast really between the Wildwood Boardwalk and the Ocean City Boardwalk. Wildwood just seeing sheets of rain right now, frequent lightning as well. Everyone's seeking shelter. That's about to be the scene in Ocean City, probably within the next 10 minutes or so. So if you have friends that are on the Ocean City Boardwalk or family that thinks, you know what, we'll just wait it out, probably best not to wait it out. Get in the car, head back home. It may take a little while. It may take 30, 40 minutes before this finally clears all the way out. And if you're even under an awning, you can be susceptible to a lightning strike because there's a lot of metal. There's a lot going on down there. So you just don't want to be out in this if you can avoid it. Severe thunderstorm warning remaining in effect until, I believe, let me pull this up once again. Is it 7 o'clock for the shore points? That goes until, yes, 7 o'clock tonight for the shore points, Atlantic, Burlington, Cape May, and Ocean counties in that severe thunderstorm warning until 7 o'clock tonight. We do still have the tornado warning further to the north. So let's zoom back up north and take another look at that. Again, that is slightly out of our viewing area, but it does include parts of Burlington County It does include the Six Flags theme park. It includes parts of 195 there, and it is a very dangerous ongoing situation as this cell had a tornado warning earlier and is now continuing to push through parts of Monmouth County. Right now, just a little further north around Millstone, but you can see very heavy downpours around Jackson, Ocean County as well, Vista Center right along 195 there. So still a very dangerous situation, a tornado warning currently in effect for parts of Ocean and Monmouth counties, a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for all the shore points. And again, you can see how this line is, we call it kind of quasi-linear because it's not a straight line. It's not a straight squall line. You can see people running.
Folks are on the move now.
It looks like it has just started to rain and everyone's like, oh boy.
Well, we just showed this picture about maybe 5 minutes ago, and to the right there, it was almost completely black. And now it's starting to lighten up a little bit, but is that indicative of anything?
I don't believe so, because I think we're looking north. So you're looking towards an area, you're looking up toward Atlantic City where it's not quite raining yet. This is all coming in from the south. So if we were able to turn our camera and look south, I think what you would see is what these people are probably seeing, what's making them run.
Making them run the other way, right.
Big, dark, ominous clouds like what we saw moving into Cape May just about a half hour ago. And Cape May is now past the worst of it. So again, these storms are really on the move. And you can see the heavy rain, lightning, and thunder that impacted parts of Delaware is now out to sea. And it looks like we're not going to be seeing the worst of it. That's over the ocean, which is good news, except for people that may have been out on boats today. Hopefully not, because we had marine warnings issued. Cape May, we just showed you a picture there, starting, you know, it's not bright, but it's a little better than it was. There we go. It's not raining quite as heavily. The visibility has at least improved. It's raining lightly, but it's not the sheets of rain that we saw just about 15, 20 minutes ago. So still a severe thunderstorm warning, but it looks like the worst has passed through Cape May. Don't go back outside, though, because there is a lot of lightning encompassing this entire area, all of South Jersey, dealing with the lightning. And you can see people still running, maybe trying to get out of the rain there along the Wildwood Boardwalk. There's a live look at the Wildwood Boardwalk right now. It was a pretty decent beach day until these storms came along, and you don't want to be anywhere near the beach or outdoors right now.
And Kate, when it comes to these storms, I've just been given a list of some power outages that are going on. We've got some 1,600 outages in Bucks County, some 1,100 outages in Cape May County that you have been pointing out a lot when it comes to the pictures that we've been seeing, and 974 outages are being reported across Burlington County right now. So this is the real deal. It's happening out there.
Yeah, lots of tree damage, like you were saying. Again, there's that report that you just mentioned from a trained National Weather Service spotter in Milford, Sussex County, reported a tornado touchdown with significant tree damage, some trees into houses. Once again, that was about 5:02 p.m., just after that tornado warning was issued. So hopefully it gave people time to seek shelter, to get to where they need to go, get to a basement or an interior room, because it does look as though we had a tornado touchdown in Milford County, Delaware earlier today about 5:02 p.m. And that's a trained spotter report. And once again, pulling up this report that we had from earlier as well. This was a report of vehicles being blown off the road. Farmington, Kent County, trees down, vehicles blown off the road along US Route 13 around Tower Hill Road. This coming from an emergency manager in that area, reporting damage and destruction that generally only comes from a tornado or very, very strong straight line wind gusts. So very dangerous situation unfolded today in Delaware, especially. Again, we still have this tornado warning further to the north over parts of Monmouth County and northern Ocean County. That with this cell right here, you can sort of see the shape of that. If I draw it for you, you may be able to see it a little bit better. Kind of this hook area right here. Of course, I'm using red, which is very difficult to see, but that little hook is an indication of where the rotation signature may be happening right now. In fact, I can pull up the rotation. I believe I saved it. Yeah, here we go. And you can see it's starting to get smaller. So that's what we look for, that area of red just east of Manalapan, north of 195. And it does look as though it is weakening, but still a rotation signature and still a severe thunderstorm warning and a tornado warning in that area. All of the shore points currently encompassed by severe thunderstorm warnings, very heavy rain, frequent lightning, and damaging straight line winds at this hour, though no tornado warnings really in our area except for extreme northern Ocean County. If you know anyone that's in that area, still have the heavy downpours, though, extending back toward Philadelphia, Wilmington, Middletown. So we talked about this heat wave. We had a 4-day heat wave, and we talked yesterday about how it was going to be a fight to break this heat. It's hard to break out of a pattern like that gets stagnant, the heat that builds for days and days. And oftentimes you get severe weather when a heat wave like that breaks, and that's certainly what we saw today.
Looks like the mobile weather watchers on the Girard Point Bridge, and I'm sure when they look out the window you can't see the city skyline, that's for sure.
Looks like
you can't see much at all.
Anything on either side.
And see much at all. And just about 30 minutes south of that bridge, the city of Wilmington, Delaware, just got a message from, I think it was Darlene in Wilmington 10 minutes ago. She said, no thunder, everything seems to be okay. Then 4 minutes after that, correction, now I hear thunder.
Oh, another round of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so even on the back edge of this, you can see around Wilmington, and this is probably what she heard. We have this one little lightning strike that happened over the Delaware Bay. Look at that tiny little thing. And you can still have lightning and thunder even with the back edge of this. It's not severe, but it's still dangerous to be out in. And there's been a lot of lightning with these storms, a lot of people out on the boardwalks, out on the beaches. And lightning, of course, a very dangerous aspect of these storms, especially in the summer when people tend to be outside, trying to cool off, trying to beat the heat down the shore. And again, they're dealing with the threat for lightning. There's a live look at Cape May, which looks a whole lot different than it did a few minutes ago.
Sure does. And we were talking about it when we talk about the sport of golf and people playing golf. You always say, even no matter what the skies look like, if you hear thunder, you are still susceptible of being hit by lightning.
Absolutely. It's the phrase that we repeat all the time in the weather world: when thunder roars, go indoors.
Okay.
Thunder is the sound lightning makes. If there's thunder, there's lightning. There has to be. You can't have thunder without lightning. There's no such thing as heat lightning. There's always thunder. If you can't hear the thunder, it's far away. If there's thunder, there's lightning. They go hand in hand. If you hear thunder, get inside. Sometimes thunder can travel a little further, so you can't see the lightning, or it's shrouded by rain or by clouds. But if you hear that rumble in the distance, get out of the pool, get off the beach, get to somewhere safe, especially this time of the year, because again, things like fishing, boating, golfing, the most dangerous activities you can do when thunderstorms are on the menu, because there's really no place to seek shelter, and you put yourself at risk for, again, serious injury or even fatality if you're out in this sort of an electrified storm like this.
And I'm sure you know that old, saying or formula when it comes to where the storm might be. Once you hear thunder, you're supposed to, count?
Yeah, it's kind of.
Is that legit? Count
I'm not sure it's not completely legit, but it's not a bad thing to do. So if you count 1, 1,000, 2, it supposedly tells you how many miles away the thunderstorm is. Of course, sound can travel at different speeds based on if you have an inversion in the atmosphere, if you have clouds around, if you have fewer clouds. So it's certainly not any kind of exact science. But if you do hear a clap of thunder and then a flash of lightning right away, it probably means that you're
right on top of it.
Yeah, if it takes a little while, you may have a little while to go.
Right.
So it's not a exact science, but it's not a terrible thing to do to see just how close a storm is to your area.
Look at all those lightning strikes over Jersey.